Hello, Florent, for Reportage VIP and RVVS. I am with Fred Wesley, Mr. Fred Wesley. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine. What's your sensation before this concert around Paris, postponed after the tragedy in November 2015?
Yeah, it was. We were looking forward to doing a year, and then they had the bombing at the Bataclan in Paris, and they canceled the show, and I was very disappointed because I wanted to play here. We played here before, and I wanted to play this gig, but we understood what was wrong, and we didn't want to make any waves, so we canceled the show. Yeah.
A specific moment, a specific emotion today.
Yeah, we're back. That's the word. We're back, and we're gonna do the show that we would have done then, only better now.
When and how do you have discovered and learned to play with the trombone?
Well, I was born into a musical family. Have you read my book? You have?
Yes.
You read the book entitled "Hit Me, Fred: Recollections of a Sideman." It's a book. It's been out ever since 2004, and all of this is in there. But I was playing piano and trumpet, and I wanted to be a trumpet player, maybe a sax player, But my father had a big band. He needed a trombone player in the band, so he told me he brought a trombone home one time. He said, "You learn how to play this, and you can be in my band." So I learned how to play it, and I've been on trombone ever since.
You have taken lessons to play piano and trumpet too during your childhood.
Yeah, but the trombone stuck with me, because he needed one. Mm-hmm.
Please could you clarify if you have chosen between to be milkman and musician?
You did read the book.
A little.
I had to choose between milk or music, So I chose music. I'm glad I did too,
And this choice was during the civil rights movement.
Right.
How do you have lived this period?
Yeah, it was a pretty hard time back in those days, You had to go to the back door, and you had to do everything in class, And we were tired of that, so we had to create a movement to end that, So we that was a hard time for musicians too. But we didn't really know about it because we had music all in our clubs, and the white clubs and the black clubs, and so we made out okay.
And milkman, after the abolition of the Jimmy Crow laws, was a big symbol.
Yes, James Brown was a big symbol in that. He did "I'm Black and I'm Proud," which was a pivotal point in the civil rights movement. Everybody was thinking it, but James Brown said it out loud, and that changed a lot.
Your mother has worked a lot about civil rights movement too. She was active.
She was very active in it. We had bombings across the street from my house, cross burnings and stuff like that. But my mother hung in there. She was determined to have everybody vote because that was the most important thing in those days.
What is music for you?
Music is everything. That's the way I express myself. That's the way things are expressed to me. So music is everything to me. Everything, because without music there is no life. I hear melodies all the time and rhythms all the time. It's everything.
Creativity, pleasure, and discipline for music.
Everything to me. You have to be disciplined to do it good. And if you do it good, then it's pleasurable too.
The trumpet player Mac Johnson was a great influence for you.
Oh, yeah. Mac Johnson was a great trumpet player. He's still alive too. And he was the first one that encouraged me to play funk on the trombone, because I had never thought about doing it before. And when I heard Mac Johnson do it, I said, well, you can do that on the trumpet. I could do it on the trombone too, you know. So.
Study in Alabama and military school of music. These experiences have built your musical growth and education too.
Yeah, you know, in school, in music school, I just learned the basics of music, you know. But when I went in the army really taught me how to play trombone, and I mean the correct way, because I didn't read everything. I did everything by ear. I could read, but I didn't read, and I learned everything by ear, and I imitated the saxophone, I imitated the guitar, you know. But when I went in the army, I had to play correctly, and I had to play trombone parts, and that's where I really learned how to play trombone. I had a teacher in the army. His name was Joe Phillips, and he was a Navy man. He was a Navy, and I learned a lot from him. Yeah.
Then an experience with Ike and Tina Turner.
Yeah, that was my first big road gig. Ike and Tina Turner. I was 17 years old when I went on the road with Ike and Tina Turner, and I learned a lot from them too, you know.
The band of James Brown.
How have I integrated with my music today? Well, I do everything. Everything is influenced by that. James Brown was a big influence in my life. You know, he taught me how to do things how to be creative. You know, whatever I heard, that's what I do. You know, because all the music that I do now has some James Brown influence in it. You know.
What have you learned during this period?
How to create music. You don't have to do music like anybody else, but you have to do it like yourself. Yeah.
How was James Brown, the character?
It was pretty good, but you had to learn how to deal with him. He was a hard man to deal with. He wanted everything exactly right himself, you know. So we did things like he said, and we learned from him. We learned how to be disciplined and how to do things correctly. We learned that from James Brown.
Do you have a specific story about James Brown?
Once we were playing the Apollo Theater in New York City, and we had played 5 shows one day, and I busted my lip, and blood got on my shirt, you know. James Brown fined me $50 for having blood on my shirt after playing 5 shows a day, so he was a hard man. Yeah.
In the 70s, you became band leader. What were the recording sessions?
Well, you know, by becoming band leader, that means I had to learn how to arrange, how to produce, and how to do albums, you know. We wrote such great tunes as Pass the Peas, Give Me Some More with the JBs and Doing It to Death, and The Big Payback, and Papa Don't Take No Mess with James Brown. And, you know, I made a lot of money and learned a lot during that time.
Playing, arranging, writing, your list of responsibility have grown. Your vision of music has changed or keep the same direction?
Well, you know, all the directions have changed. You know, we do things like James Brown music one day, and the next day you do things like George Clinton music, and you integrate the two musics together, all the music together. I learned lots from Count Basie, you know, and create my own sound, you know.
Creation with a lot of highlights of James Brown too.
Yeah. Some James Brown things, you know, like we're gonna do Funk School tonight, and that's sort of like a James Brown thing, you know.
And the Payback.
Oh yeah.
How was the process for this song?
That has made me the most money, that song, you know, because it's been recorded by a lot of people, and I made a lot of money off of that song. It was easy to write. I didn't have any idea it was going to come out as funky as it did, but you know, I just wrote the parts out, and it came out really funky, you know. Yeah.
The GB's friends with Maceo Parker and Pee Wee Elvis live on Planet Groove in the 90s.
That was a big record for us.
Please, could you speak about this experience too?
It was a Maceo Parker record. You know, Stefan Miner produced the album, and it was a live recording in Cologne. Maceo became very big after that album, you know, and we all became big after the album because we got really famous because the album was real big, you know, and we all went our separate ways after that. But that album made us the most money, and we really happy we did it. Yeah.
3 different styles of music in this cooperation.
Well, yeah, it was 3 different people, you know. Pee-Wee was mostly jazz, Maceo was mostly funky, and I was kind of in between, you know. Yeah.
Atmosphere was very good too.
Oh yeah, it was a good idea for a while, you know. But we got tired of doing Maceo's music after a while, so we let him have it, and went on to form our own groups. Basically, Pee-Wee had a group called the Pee-Wee Ellis Assembly. And I have a group called the New JBs, you know, so we're all very happy. We were just together last week to induct Pee-Wee into the Rochester Hall of Fame, you know. Yeah. So.
You have worked with George Clinton. It was very colorful, psychedelic music, more electronic. How would you contrast your trombone playing style with George against James?
You know, James Brown did everything normally, like out of real instruments, you know, but George Clinton used all the synthesizers and all the bass effects and the guitar effects that he could find, you know. So it was electronic funk, and it continued to be electronic funk, you know. You see Knee Deep and Aqua Boogie and all of that stuff. It was kind of different from the Mothership, but it got more and more electronic and more funky as you went along.
It was difficult or another vision to integrate the trombone in this music?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hard, but when he stopped using it, it was understandable because he went to electronics, you know. And trombone is not electronic. You have to blow the trombone, actually.
How is George Clinton before concert?
He's a beautiful guy, you know. Good friend of mine. I love him. And he's a wonderful person, you know. All I know about him. I don't know what other people might say about him, but I really love him.
A memory with George Clinton?
We had so many times together. I can't tell you about all the time, but I can tell you about riding on the bus. I thought we were riding on the bus in the early days, and I said, maybe these guys really are from outer space, you know. Then I looked around and I saw George reading a book. I said, it's real. So we realized it was real, and we were just making fun, you know. Yeah.
An experience in the Count Basie orchestra too? Your favorite listened?
I love
Count Basie.
It was a great band. We went to Detroit one time, and I did a session all day with George Clinton. And came back to the gig, and George said, hey, Fred, Count Basie said, how you doing, Fred? I said, no, I'm tired, boss. We did a session all day. He said, mm-hmm. Then he called every tune that had a second trombone player, a trombone solo in the tune. So he worked me to death that night, you know.
Albuming with David Cocker and So-Called, how was being created this formation?
Yeah, with David cracked out the idea, David and So-Called. They came to me and said they wanted to infuse funk into their music, you know. So I didn't like hip-hop that much, and I had never heard of klezmer music, you know. But we put it all together, and it worked out real good. We had a good time together. Yeah.
It's a good time to mix klezmer, funk, hip-hop.
It was really good mix, you know. It was impossible to do, but we did it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Fred, for this interview.
You're quite welcome, all right?
Thank Mr. Wesley.
All right.